I'm Paul Mittermeier, Director of Communications for the Ed Block Courage Award Foundation, and welcome to our 44th annual Ed Block Courage Award Gala virtually this year. I hope you're inspired by the courageous stories from our NFL players. One of the other things that doing virtual galas has allowed us to do is also introduce you to the children that we support throughout the Courage House Network and hear some of their stories as well and let them interact with the NFL players. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the 44th annual Ed Block Courage Awards.
Hi, I'm Natalie Leak, President and CEO of Providence House. We're a crisis nursery in Cleveland, Ohio, and have been an Ed Block Courage House for our Cleveland Browns since 1999. This is our 40th year of service to children at risk of abuse or neglect at our crisis nursery, and over 13,000 children have stayed with us since our doors opened. While children stay with us, we work to resolve crisis in the family so that they can reunite safely. Last year, 100% of our children safely reunited with their families following services at Providence House. And we're growing. With the support of our Cleveland Browns and the Cleveland community, we're expanding to Cleveland's east side to serve even more children and families. So can you tell us your Ed Block story?
Dealing with an injury like that, so traumatic. There was a lot of time that I couldn't do anything and I was just laid off. And that was tough for like a guy like me that likes to just go. But I learned a lot about myself. I learned how important it was to have patience. And I learned how important it was to trust the process and stay in the moment and create those small goals. And as you accomplish that, you can look up and to see what you've done and how far you've come since you've been hurt. And I was able to do that. And I just took it one day at a time, took small goals from just raising my foot to finally getting off of the crutches, whatever they were that kept motivating me, inspiring me to keep pushing. So just to be where I am now, it's a blessing. I'm thankful that I went through that injury. As I said, I learned a lot about myself. I'm not only a better man, I'm a better player as well because of it.
Started off in 2019. I broke it and decided to have surgery, had surgery, came back in about 8 weeks, was put on IR with designation return. And then shortly after that, just started having complications again. A stress fracture came back and decided just to kind of wait it out and went through another round of rehab after a long 8 weeks again, we extended it a little bit to about 12 weeks and trained that off season. Then the following year, COVID happened and had another stress fracture come back. So kind of those ended up missing the 2 full seasons without getting on the field, just practicing and went through both training camps. But yeah, it was a long road, both mentally and physically. But yeah, I couldn't be more grateful for the experience. You know, those things kind of make you who you are. So glad for that.
So it was going well for me, coming in or returning on another deal, being with the Jaguars, team I've been with for the past 3 years before this year. Coming in, had a pretty solid camp and, one of those unfortunate injuries that, is kind of friendly fire. Got kind of just swung around with my leg and, got out, I think it was first preseason game with the MCL. So it was rough to start out the season that way. It's because, you hyped to get on the field, first preseason game, you kind of have an injury like that. So, but I learned a lot and definitely, mentally overcoming the hardship of having that injury early and just keeping that positive attitude to help out, your teammates and try to keep them encouraged while you're also, trying to stay encouraged yourself as you want to get back on the field and help the team win.
I had no feeling in my left side. It was incredible in pain. I couldn't feel it. It was numb to the touch. And I almost caught it quick because I was dealing with so much pain. And then I had to get surgery, my first surgery ever. So just dealing with a whole bunch of that, and not knowing what was I gonna be able to play again, come back out there and play. And then went through it, came back, seeing my teammates, And I knew it was bigger than me once I saw them, and how they accepted me back. And, I just continued to work hard. And, once I got back, it was fun. It was fun again. But, just going through that pain, it's something I won't wish on nobody.
Hi, I'm Trisha I from the Baltimore Ravens Courage House, St. Vincent's Villa, and I have Ziggy here to ask a question.
What does it mean to be voted on your teammates to win the Ed Block Courage Award?
Yeah, no, I think it's always amazing, especially when you get honors like this where they're voted on by your peers. Obviously you got fan support out there, you got family support, you have coach support. But I think as athletes, one of the things that we always have secretly looked for or yearned for is that support from our peers, that respect from the people that we go to battle with. So to me, I don't take it lightly, and I'm appreciative of it. And it also it continues to keep me focused on being the man that I am in the locker room, and then also being the player that I am on the field, right? These are awards that people aren't coming up to you every single day saying, hey, I admire that you're doing this, or hey, I like that you're doing this, right? Especially not in the game of football. However, when you get an award like this, it does let you know that, hey, you're on the right path. So, just keep it up.
It's one of the greatest honors of my career. And obviously, with the injuries that I've overcome and just working back through that, and then having their support, and then to have them vote for something like this, it really is amazing. I'm really grateful for it. And I'm thankful to have the experience.
Yeah, it's an absolute honor, especially when, voted on by your teammates, your peers. And, it's very humbling, and, it's just what a great award to receive. And just feel very honored to be part of, the list of great men and that have gone before and won this award.
Just to be voted on from your peers, guys that see you put in the sweat and the work day in and day out, and see the toll that the injury took, honestly, and just what I had to do to overcome things physically and mentally as well to get back to the level of play and the standard of the Dallas Cowboys and to my teammates' standards. So, and I think that's what that vote meant. And it's special. As you said, in Dallas, we have the luncheon, the Happy Hills luncheon. We have a big plaque, I guess you can say, of all the past winners. And so every time you pass that in the training room, to see my name is going to be on the bottom of that is going to be pretty cool. And it's special. It's special, and you guys do it the right way. So it's an honor to be voted on this by my peers, and it's a privilege to be welcomed in. So thank you.
I'm pleased to be joined by 2021 Ed Block Courage Award recipient from the Pittsburgh Steelers, Devin Bush. And Devin, welcome in. First of all, congratulations on being the Pittsburgh Steelers recipient. I guess first question always is just talk about what an honor it is to have your teammates think that much of you that they vote for you for this award.
Yeah, it's an honor to be here. Thank you for having me, first and foremost. Yeah, it was definitely an honor, going through those trials. You definitely have a lot of time being alone, and for your teammates to recognize you with this type of award, it goes to show that, work goes unnoticed. And I can't thank my teammates and the medical staff and my coaches as well for all the support throughout the whole process.
Devin, talk about that a little bit, when you were discussing getting back from the injury, some of the dark times that, you do have dark times where, I guess there's got to be questions about, I overcome this injury, and talk about how you deal with that. Maybe you don't have the support staff around that you would normally if it wasn't a COVID situation.
Yeah, it was tough. It's kind of hard to describe, because it's not just one state. 1 minute everything is going well, and you're feeling good doing your rehab and getting back to doing things. And 1 week may be harder than the other, one day may be harder than the other. Especially with COVID, it wasn't a lot of interaction going on, and everybody was still trying to figure everything out. And being a regular person, you wasn't seeing family or hearing from family like you thought you would. But you just got to just stick to the plan that you set in your mind and set on paper. And before you know it, I was 6, 7, 8 months out of surgery, and I was doing well and way better than what I was doing in the beginning.
Devin, the Rooney family, Coach Tomlin, everybody's really bought into the Courage House in Pittsburgh. Holy Family Institute. You guys do a huge luncheon for them. Talk about the luncheon experience and kind of what that was like for you. And
everybody shows support. You know, I met a lot of friends actually at the luncheon. It's a big thing, as in showing that the people that really show support, not even about the Steelers, just about people in general, and you know, the younger generation and wanting them to be better. It shows that there's still people in this world that care, and still people in this world that want to do things for the betterment of the future.
Well, you met a special person at the Courage Luncheon. Let's bring her in now. Taylor Simone Dotson. She's a student at Nazareth Prep and the winner of the Holy Family Institute Courage House Award. Taylor, how are you doing today?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Doing great, doing great. All right, Taylor, I know you have a couple things you want to ask Devin, so fire away.
My first question is, what has been your greatest hardship so far playing in the league, and how did you come back?
My greatest hardship would definitely be my injury, just because it was so spontaneous. You know, it kind of came out of nowhere unexpectedly. But it was a lot of work, a lot of self-reflecting. You know, a lot of things to, you know, I had a lot of downtime to think about what I wanted for myself and for the future, you know, my family. So, you know, I just had to just work and keep pushing. So, I mean, that was probably my greatest hardship so far.
All right.
Outstanding. Taylor, great questions. Taylor, I have a couple for you. Taylor, can you talk about Holy Family Institute and what they've meant to you and kind of how they've helped you?
So Holy Family Institute has been more than I can ask for, honestly, because I know there's not many schools that may be that into their students' personal lives, you know, wanting to get us further than high school, wanting to be interested in our personal interests and what we want to do post high school. So I think that organization is amazing, and it's not even just what they do within the school, but what they do for other kids. So the things that they do, and the staff and the teachers and the faculty that they have there, and the way that they invest in the relationships that I have personally with the people there, is amazing, and that's why I continue to love the fact that I attend that school. So.
Outstanding stuff, Taylor. You know, before we go, just, you know, the ability you have and how it makes you feel when you know you can make a difference to young people with your platform and the athlete that you are to give back.
It's a blessing. I mean, because, you know, 2 seconds ago, I was her age. I can't believe the time went by so fast. And, you know, I would remember being the person I was looking up to a lot of the older people as well. And, you know, just to be in that position, you know, it's kind of like a turnaround. You know, it's like, okay, now you have a responsibility that's bigger than yourself. So, I mean, it's a motivational factor as well, because, you know, you always wanted to uplift the future, you know, and give them hope and give them, you know, somebody to look up to and a good role model.
Devin, I appreciate taking a few minutes of time here. Taylor, thank you so much as well for participating here today. Let's try to keep it going and good things for everybody, right?
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate you.
Actually, I think Ezra was first approached and thought about it a few years ago. It was several years ago now. And I think the idea came up, and, you know, he really took the lead on looking into the reality, like, could we make that happen? And worked with Ed Black on the sponsorship to bring her with us. So really, Ezra was the force behind that, and he was the one with the idea that this could really help the kids and the residents in the school.
Well, initially, the Ed Black Courage Award Foundation brought the idea to us, and we did some research. And then from there, you know, we knew that this is something that we wanted to do.
So one of our board members had a partnership with Paws for People. It was brought to the board's attention, and we kind of put it to a vote and decided it was just a home run initiative.
My name is Ezra Buchdahl. I serve as the administrator for St. Vincent's Villa and Villa Maria School. We're a part of the Family Services Division of Catholic Charities of Baltimore, and I serve as Carmen's primary handler and dad. As the administrator, I oversee the residential and school programs, but my other hat is serving as Carmen, our rehabilitated facility dog. Her primary handler. And so Carmen and I are together all day, every day.
I'm Aggie Callahan. I'm the Director of Education at Villa Maria School, and I'm one of Carmen's handlers. So I've known her from the beginning when we first got her and was trained to work with her. We are a private, separate special education school. Some of the kids also reside here at St. Vincent's Villa, but some come from the community. We serve kids from Baltimore County, Baltimore City, Howard County, Carroll County. So lots of jurisdictions refer the kids to us because their needs can't be met in public school.
My name is Christopher Prophet. I am 11 years old. I met Carmen when I was in the facility, and I had a rough time with doing blood work, and I heard about a facility dog named Carmen. And Mr. Ezra walks up to me. That's when I first met him. And he was like, "Hi, would you like to meet Carmen, my dog?" And I was like, "Yes." And Carmen helped me out through a lot of stuff back then, a lot. So I'm glad that I met Carmen. I had a rough time because I just started crying because I found out that I might not leave as soon as I thought. So Carmen came in my room and she helped me out with working through it and just processing it. So she really helped me with that, and that's my favorite memory.
She's able to do things that we can't. I can't always just go over to them and say, "What's wrong? Are you?" That doesn't always work. She's such a comfort and a source of joy to everybody, like the adults and the kids, that she's really made a difference in my work life, because when I'm having a tough moment, or any of us are, Carmen's there, and she's able to make you feel better, make you smile, because she's always happy to see everybody.
She likes to play catch and she wakes us up on Wednesday mornings, and by licking our face and jumping up on our bed. And when we're playing catch, when you throw the ball really far, she drops it by your legs.
But probably the best thing Ed Block's ever done for us is funded Carmen. We actually received funding from a private donor for a second facility dog. We could really use a second facility dog here because the demands on Carmen are greater than what we're able to do. She needs a work partner.
It's a lot for one dog, so it would be great if we had another one.
Couldn't ask for a better support service for the children than having somebody like Carmen there, being able to, sit with them when they're taking needles, or, sit with them when they're having a crisis in the facility. So it's just, she's the best dog, and she's so smart, and it's, I wish everybody had a dog like Carmen, really.
Good afternoon. I'm Douglas Robertson. I'm a paraprofessional here at the Gen School. And with me today, I have Mr. Boyer Parker. Boyer is in our vocational program, which is an after-school program. Boyer is also a B student, and he has aspirations of being his business when he graduates. Mr. Parker.
I would like to ask one question for the NFL football team. What was your biggest inspiration or role model growing up?
My mother was. She was a huge inspiration to me. Single mother, and she did everything for me, and honestly put me in a position to be here now. In the sense, I guess, to receive this award, and I wouldn't be here without her, and I give her all the credit as well as God.
I'm from Alabama, Prattville, Alabama. My grandmother in our hometown for a number amount of years. She had a restaurant, a family-owned business, and I would always go help her as far as getting up early and being there, just being a helping hand. Maybe not really helping as I should, but I'm maybe in the way. But so just watching her over the years, having dedication for something that she loved, her passion in cooking, it just showed me that mentality of get up and go get it. I'm an early riser. I love to start my day early, and just watching her for so many years, it rubbed off on me. And she was the biggest inspiration for me by far.
What football player do you like playing against the most?
I like going against the Niners just because my whole family are Niner fans, and it just brings a different type of competitiveness. It's just I love my family, and I love my team too. So it just be showing. It just brings out the best in me. Really playing against the Niners.
I always like to go against the good teams. Obviously, the Rams just won the Super Bowl. They have a really good offensive scheme. I have a lot of respect for their coach. I think he does a really good job. So I would say it's not really a player, but I would just say that scheme.
Quite honestly, just playing in the NFC West, the whole conference is always fun and exciting to go up against. We've had close games as far as with Arizona, Seattle, and the Rams. So I quite honestly, like any one of those teams and just going against those guys is always exciting and fun.
Probably, I got to play against Zach Martin this year, and that was pretty cool because he's probably the best guard in the history of the game, and just to go against him and just see and experience his greatness as well as try to do my best against him. It was fun.
My name is Marissa Vassallo. I am a foster parent with an agency called Neighbor to Family. I've been with them for many years. Very fortunate to work with an agency that keeps siblings together. I work with other agencies, and this agency, Neighbor to Family, has blessed me to be able to work not only to care for children, but care for the family, keep the siblings together and be able to work with the parents as well as extended relatives of the children. Who would you pick to perform next year's Super Bowl halftime show?
I don't know. The last one was kind of hard to beat, but I'd definitely like to see like a Drake, Lil Baby, something like that, some sort of rap.
I like old school jazz. I'm like a B.B. King or Albert King, Stevie Ray Vaughan, just an old school. That's kind of what I like to vibe to. So if I was a commissioner and could choose anybody, other people may not like it. So I may be a bad commissioner, but that's something that I would enjoy.
Hi, I'm Heather Moeller from Children's Home Society of North Carolina. At Children's Home Society, we believe that family is the #1 determinant of child success and well-being. That's why our mission is to promote the right of every child to have a safe, permanent, and loving family. Our vision is that every family is supported by trusted resources that lead to equitable opportunities for enduring family success. Thank you to the Ed Block Courage Award Foundation and all of you for supporting children and families across North Carolina. Thanks again. And that's why in Panthers Nation, we say, keep pounding. And now a message from one of our kids at Children's Home Society.
Hi, I'm Isaiah Fredrickson, representing Children's Home Society of North Carolina and the Panthers Courage House. And the question I wanted to ask you was, what is your favorite midnight snack?
Oh, goodness. I have so many. I don't even know if I could name one. Last night I had these little ice cream things from Trader Joe's. That was what I chose last night, but it switches every night.
If we're going candy, it's this candy called Fruities, right? And if we're going snack, like food-wise, I'm a big fruit guy. I like blueberries, really. Blueberries, anything fruit, strawberries. I make a little fruit smoothie or something for a little nice snack. So,
what is your favorite movie?
I probably have to say Lion King. My last name's King. I like the fact that just everything about the movie, all the trial, and him being able to come out on top.
Probably one of my all-time favorite movies would be Good Will Hunting with Matt Damon and Robin Williams. Dark Knight, always a classic. And then I guess superhero. My girlfriend and I went through the whole Marvel MCU over COVID, so big Marvel fan as well.
A Place Called Home is an amazing organization in South Central. We provide a safe and nurturing environment through arts, education, and wellness programs for youth. And if you can think of the best after-school program that you needed growing up, that's basically what A Place Called Home is. Who was your favorite player growing up?
I like Nadamakin Su, Halotingata. I like there was a lot of them really. I like Lawrence Taylor, all of them, but Halotingata most definitely was the biggest one, and him and Sue, just watching them growing up in junior high and high school, just always watching their highlights on YouTube. Yeah.
Brian Dawkins.
There was a lot. I remember one of my favorites though when I was really young was, not really young, but Steve Smith. And it was funny because when I went through my ACL rehab, Colin worked with Steve Smith in Carolina and was able to get a phone call set up. So that helped a lot.
Oh, Deion Sanders, prime time. I love, I start off at cornerback, just watching him, the things he do, the way he celebrates on punt return once he goes into the house, pick sixes. He's a guy I look up to.
Hi, everyone. My name is Deetria Cortalis, and I'm a member of the Pandora North American Leadership Team based here in Baltimore, Maryland. We're a proud sponsor of the Ed Block Courage Awards Gala, and I'm also a proud board member of the Ed Block Foundation. Pandora is the #1 jewelry brand in the world. We're an affordable luxury retailer that has something for everyone. Our brand gives a voice to people's loves. And similar to the Ed Block Foundation, they give a voice to all of the award recipients and the children of all the Courage Houses that they support. Lastly, globally, Pandora supports UNICEF by partnering with them to empower and educate today's youth all over the world.
Well, welcome back. I'm joined by the 2021 PFAT's athletic training staff of the year. They are the Miami Dolphins. Kyle Johnston is the head athletic trainer, joined along with his staff. Kyle, welcome in. And first of all, congratulations on the award. And just talk about 2021. And even though we were trying to get through COVID, there were still a lot of challenges with trying to do a football season in 2021, correct?
There's no doubt. Before we start, recognizing my staff and our staff that we work together with, Troy Maurer, Associate Athletic Trainer, finishing his 30th season with the Dolphins, and Jasmine here finishing her first season now. In a way, our Associate Athletic Trainer finishing his 13th season, and John Boone, our Director of Rehab, just got done with his 4th season. Our challenges this year were similar to what everybody else dealt with, not only just in the NFL, but across the country. How do we continue to do the things that we love to do and adapt and evolve with a pandemic and try to keep our players and our organization and their families as safe as possible. So it was a challenge. Difficult at times, but rewarding at other times, to see everyone persevere and pull together for a common goal to get it done and get it done safely.
Jasmine, I wanted to ask you about, being a female athletic trainer and kind of, even with the role, do you see yourself as, there's 10 or 11 female athletic trainers now in the league. Do you guys see yourself not only as just, what your job is, but also role models for other girls that possibly will look and want to be athletic trainers in the future?
We absolutely do. I think one of the important parts that I take pride in is speaking to female students and other athletic trainers as much as I can. And I take pride in that, as well as the other female athletic trainers. We speak in group chats, we inspire each other, and we try to communicate as much as possible. I think the biggest thing also is just representation, as well as just being visible, and for other girls and other female athletic trainers to see the other females in the NFL.
Before we bring in Landon in, do you guys have a favorite or most memorable moment from the 2021 season?
The win streak's fun. Whether you're 0-17 or 17-0, though, it's really about the players, and it's really about watching them succeed and the playoffs and Super Bowls and whatnot. Those are neat, to be a part of maybe. But Troy will probably speak to this too. Yeah, Landon unfortunately hurt his knee in Las Vegas against the Raiders toward one of the last games of the season in 2020. We went back to Las Vegas this year, and it was early in the season. And I think Landon is unique because his recovery timeframe was short by most account. And he's back in training camp and playing, and didn't miss a game this year. And we were playing Las Vegas, and we looked at each other. It was probably 10 minutes before it happened, and I said, "Oh man, this is the place that it happened." It's an unspoken feeling. You don't really want to bring it up. 10 minutes later, Landon gets a pick six and returns it 70, 80 yards to a touchdown in the same end zone that he tore his ACL in. And it gives me goosebumps to this day to remember that moment and remember that, just how happy you are, because the 6 a.m. mornings and seeing this guy just grind. You talk about heat earlier in our interview. I mean, there's not a day that went by that he wasn't outside in 100-degree heat, sweating and rehabbing when everyone else is on vacation. And to play those moments back and see him do that, it was euphoric for us. I know it was for him, but man, that's what it's all about. So take the playoffs, take the wins, the win streaks away. Those moments what's make us come back to work the next day and hopefully do it for the next player.
Yeah, that's a great segue, guys. Let's bring Landon in on that note. And what an amazing story. Landon, welcome in. And I guess the biggest thing in Landon, I've always been told that not only physically when you overcome an injury, also mentally you have to overcome that injury. Talk about that whole sequence and how much that helped you know that you were back 100%.
Man, I'll just say really taking it one day at a time. The good thing about the Miami Dolphins training staff was that they was the same each day. So I felt like I couldn't come in each day and just be down about my situation or not be able to go, because they was there ready to go with me. Like, it was kind of like they got hurt. It felt like, they felt everything I was going through. Like the days that it seemed like I was a little off, I'd have picked it up, we toned it down, we talked. I felt like through my injury, I was able to, you have your training staff and everybody's there to help you get better and don't want nothing to harm you. But in my episode of being hurt, I felt like I gained family, with them, because each day, we talked through, even if it didn't have nothing pertaining to injury, we talked about stuff outside of football and whatnot. And, it motivated me each day to overcome that injury, because I knew the type of support staff I had behind me.
And we always talk about the relationship between the players and the athletic trainers. I mean, just talk about what it means to you to have somebody in your corner like that. It just seems like that relationship is just amazing when you talk about player to athletic trainer.
Yeah, most definitely, because, walking into an NFL facility, everybody is a do your job mentality. Everybody have a job to do. So sometimes you lose sight of that. You think like, man, they just doing this because this their job. Being in there, it made me like really, really respect, what the training staff bring to the table, because it's like, man, like, I'm here to get you better. I feel what you're going through. And like me, like, I'm always like a hard-nosed guy. I stay out the training room. I really won't go in there because I feel like you soft if you hang in the training room. And now I still kind of don't go back since my injury, but I'll pass through in the hallway and make sure, like, I tell them like how much I appreciate them, play around sometime. And I still keep it moving. It's just like, man, like they really care about you, and like, it really raised my respect on a whole different spectrum of what they do on a day-to-day basis.
Flip the table here before we go, and Kyle and Troy, jump back in here, because when you have a guy that I'm listening to like in Landon, that has to be really inspiring to you guys, because he's a guy that just wants to get in there, get to work, and get back to where he knows he can be, right?
We're supposed to be there for the players, but there are so many things that we picked up from Landon that made us better too. And I think that's important, because there's days that I came in, I was like, I don't know if I got it today. And I see Landon just grinding, outside sweating. And, when you're talking about somebody who embodies professionalism, strength, dedication, unselfishness, grit, all the things that that Black Courage Award stands for. You know, I took a step back, and in the position we're in, we're supposed to be the role models or the set the standard. He oftentimes set the standard for us, not just for us, but everybody else around him in the training room that were going through injuries. And he set that standard every single day. You know, he sets a standard, and we often would tell players, like, you want to know how to do this, and you need to go watch that guy. And it's easy. So now we don't have to say anything. Just go watch that guy. And that's what it should look like. There was only one part of the whole process we were probably upset with E-Rob, is seeing how fast he ran back on that interception. It felt like he was probably sandbagging some sprints in the rehab process. And it's the only thing that I could think of when he did that, because we always try to keep him humble. You know, we always try to beat him down. We break him down mentally and build him back up. And the only thing I think of after he did that, I had goosebumps and all that stuff. I was like, well, I'm not going to go there. You can't, I just got to be like, man, you obviously were sandbagging during sprints in rehab, because we've never seen you run that fast. So that was the cool part about it. And I don't know, if Troy got anything to add to it, but he gave me a lot more than I feel like I gave him, through the process.
He was motivated and had the right mental attitude, and he's, that's how it's supposed to look. And he, like Kyle said, he checks all the attributes you need to have a successful outcome, because it's not easy. It's hard. It's painful. It's going to hurt. He embraced that. He didn't fight it. He never had a bad day. Can't say enough good things about him.
The two things you've got to have success, I think, in a major rehab is a great surgeon, which he had in Dr. John Uribe. You got to have a motivated and a driven athlete, which we had. When you combine those two things, it makes an athletic training staff look a whole lot better than they really are, and that's what he did. And that's what happened in this, because of the surgeon and his attitude and work ethic. I mean, it makes us look a lot better than we really are.
Outstanding stuff. Everybody, congratulations. Atlanta, congratulations. We're looking forward to seeing you all in Baltimore. And we're going to have a great time here with the kids at St. Vincent's. Congratulations to everybody in Atlanta. Thank you so much for joining us as well. And appreciate the time from all of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Hi, my name is Christy Sickle. I'm the program manager and one of the child forensic interviewers at the Willow Tree Cornerstone Child Advocacy Center located in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Willow Tree provides a child-friendly, home-like environment where abused and neglected children receive services that in a way is sensitive to their needs while still providing for the safety of the community. We provide a neutral location to assist law enforcement, child protective services, and district attorney's offices all over Northeast Wisconsin with conducting investigations of child abuse and neglect. We do this by providing a child and their family with an array of different services as they navigate through a criminal investigation. Supportive services from the start of the investigation all the way through a child's healing process. Services that we offer are child forensic interviewing, child abuse medical evaluations, supportive advocacy services, trauma-focused counseling, and child abuse prevention education that we provide into the majority of schools within Green Bay and the surrounding areas. And with me today, I have my friend Emmett. Emmett, I understand that you have a question for us today.
Why is it important to get back to the community?
The things that I'm doing off the field, those are our legacy. Those are impactful. Those are changing not only the people's lives that we are actually actively making an impact on, but also it has a ripple effect on how they treat the world and how they treat others and how they treat their family members and their communities as well, right? We've thrown some amazing community events, and a lot of times young people leave saying, man, I can't wait to do this for someone else one day. I've done my job.
I love for people to look at me as a person, not what I can do for someone. And in the community, I love to be someone that can relate to them. You know what I mean? Someone that can understand, because for me, it's, you never know, for sometimes, you didn't know where your next meal was coming from. Sometimes the power wasn't on. Different things happen. So I'm the type of person where I don't want people to look at me from what I've done. I just want people to look at me for my character, if that makes sense.
So every year in my hometown of Alabama, Prattville, at my high school, I have a scholarship I give away to 3 students. They have to maintain a 3.0 GPA, have to do some community service hours in the community themselves. to qualify for it. And that's just a way for me to give back to the kids and show them that education is important. And that's what my foundation is about. The Got the Juice Foundation, we do a backpack giveaway, every year. And we put school supplies in it, whatever it may be, notebook, pencil, paper, to give the kids a chance. Because I tell them education is something that no one can ever take away from you, no matter what you do. And it's very important that we get it. So we strive on that with my foundation, big on education. We do a couple events, like I said, we do an ice cream event where my ice cream truck comes and give out ice cream to all the kids. And we just give away backpacks full of gifts and goodies. And that's just something simple, but so huge for the community that we love to do.
So in 2018, I lost my big sister Ella to suicide. And, from that, it threw us into the mental health world. And we realized how far behind, we are with our stigma around mental health, and just, how we live in this, world where, we teach people to be tough or to get over it. And so my family and I, we really wanted to come into that world and, erase that stigma and educate people about mental health and the seriousness of, mental health illnesses and disorders and just mental health in general. And, how it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to get help. And so in spite of this, we made our foundation, the defensive line, where our mission is to end the epidemic of youth suicide, especially for those of color, by transforming the way we connect and communicate over mental health. And, we're almost at our 1-year anniversary in our foundation, and we're going out there and teaching teachers, coaches, coworkers, and bosses, any mentor of youth or any person, the language of mental health and, the resources for mental health, and teach them how to create a safe mental health environment, how to notice warning signs, and what to do in crisis situations. So we're just getting in schools, athletic programs, and businesses, and trying to teach them these things. So, I'm a mental health advocate. I'm the co-founder of the defensive line, and it's an honor to be doing this important work because our world needs it.
Welcome back. I'm with Buffalo Bills 2021 Ed Block Courage Award recipient Harrison Phillips. Harrison, first of all, congratulations on the award. And I guess the first question, just talk about what it means. You are the Ed Block Courage Award recipient for this year and the Walter Payton Man of the Year. Just goes to show how amazing you are, not just on the field, but off the field. What does this mean to you?
It's a huge honor. And the more that I'm getting to know people like you and reading up on this stuff, it's an extreme honor, extremely humble to receive this thing. It's something I look forward to. We kind of talked, sometimes this is paired with somebody having to go through an injury. And so that's something you don't want to do. It's almost inevitable in the NFL that will happen. And so, my teammates and the staff and everybody selected me as the player that kind of overcame something like that and showed courage through the whole thing and the resiliency that it takes to come back and play in the NFL. It really means a lot to me, and I'm so honored.
What about that your teammates voted for you? I mean, how much does that mean, and knowing that how much respect those guys have for you?
Yeah, the only other kind of things that they vote for is like being captains of the football team. And so, it's cool to see when players, the personal capital that you have built up with people on your team and on your roster, not every person top to bottom of the roster is a solid, great dude, so the fact that my team ended up voting me to represent our organization for such a great award, it truly means a lot to me.
All right. So before we get to your backstory, I want to ask you a couple football questions. One, can you describe for us just how crazy and how amazing the fan base is in Buffalo and kind of what it means to you guys as players when you have that kind of support?
Yeah, it's almost hard to put into words because you just have to come to Buffalo and live it and experience it. But I think what I'm most amazed by or impressed by is that if you were to look up like the median household income in Western New York, not a very big number, season tickets, a pretty big number. And however they shake it out, these Bills fans work tirelessly 60, 80-hour weeks to be able to afford to get to all our home games and then, travel to other cities. That's their vacation for the year. And then number two, Bills Mafia has done some unbelievable things for other players' foundations and charities. Again, these are people who don't have $20 hanging around the house very easily, a lot of them, and they're still finding ways to give back and to support the Bills. It's truly remarkable.
No doubt. All right, so let's talk about the Harrison Phillips backstory. And obviously, you're from the Midwest. I read the great article you wrote about your trip to Stanford, your parents, your grandparents. Just talk about the support you got from them and how key they were to where you are today as a player and as a person.
Yeah, actually, I would actually make a comparison to like what I was saying about Bills fans to my parents. So we were in a dire situation. Dad lost his job for a significant amount of time, then lost another job during the recession in 2008. A lot of financial instability, and every time football came around, I had the newest cleats or whatever I needed for each sport. They made sure that I had all of that. And then two of those times was during my recruiting process a little bit too. And so my grandmother actually helped out and bought my flights. They brought me out to Stanford where I earned a scholarship and committed, about a week later. And, none of that would have happened if it wasn't for them, doing that. We wouldn't have been in that position. So, and my whole path obviously changed from there, going out to Stanford for those 3.5 years and then getting drafted. And so family's been a huge important thing for me, and loving my off seasons when I get to come back and see them. And but yeah, super grateful.
And one of the big reasons why you are an Ed Block Courage Award recipient is because you've recognized, as a lot of players do in the NFL, that everybody's not as fortunate as you to have those type of parents and those type of grandparents. And there are some people that struggle with that, and you look to try to help others. And you feel blessed because of what you were given, and it's important to give back, right?
Yeah, for sure. We're in a awesome role, but for a certain amount of time, we have to make the biggest impact we can.
No doubt. And speaking of that, let's bring in the Courage House in Buffalo. It's Gateway Longview, and we're joined by Gary Rouleau, Vice President of the Foundation and Organizational Advancement, and also a couple kids, Harrison. Let's bring those folks in from Gateway Longview. All right, hey, Gary, what's going on at Gateway Longview? How are you guys doing today?
Good. How are you?
We're doing great. Harrison is with us. Gary, first of all, tell us about Gateway Longview and kind of what you guys are all about up in upstate New York.
Sure. First, we'd like to congratulate the Buffalo Bills, Harrison Phillips, on getting on their award. And we're happy that you're able to join us today and talk with some of our residential youth. So Gateway Longview, we're a nonprofit human services organization in Western New York. We serve over 5,000 children and families annually. As everybody knows, with everything that's been going on the last couple of years with the pandemic, services that Gateway Longview provides and other organizations like ours are very much needed and much supported. So we really appreciate the Ed Block Courage Award Foundation. So this year, thank you very much. We're so proud to be the award recipient and receive $10,000. We're going to go to our Gateway Longview Therapeutic Recreation Lodge. And it's on our Main Street campus. And basically, we're going to have our residential youth that are living with us on our campus work with our professional maintenance team and basically redo what is currently now a dilapidated lodge building. And they're going to help with life skills. And the kids here are going to be hands-on learning. And afterwards, they're going to be able to come here with families, provide different services in that building throughout the year. Gateway Longview is home to the Buffalo Bills Courage House, and it's one of our buildings here on campus that our residential youth live in and learn in, and we're really grateful for all of the support that you are giving us.
Gary, I want to emphasize the part to it that you talked about, the ability for the kids to help out and actually learn the skills, because that really leads to an opportunity for jobs later on or something else where they could create a nice path in life, right?
That's right. We're here to help. We want to do our best to help our kids here, and we want to be able to place them in a job and have them go back to the communities after they serve our programming here. We want them to be very successful. James and Tyshawn here, down the line, maybe they're the next Buffalo Bill. Maybe they're the next CEO of a major company. And they can come back here at some point, full circle, and help us with our future generations that come here.
No doubt. All about giving hope to kids, no question about it. All right, James and Tyshawn, I know you're anxious to talk with Harrison. I know you guys have some questions for Harrison. So, James, I'm going to start with you. What's your first question to Harrison Phillips?
Describe the color red to someone blind.
Describe the color red to someone blind. Okay. I would say it would be a close shade to the tint they see early in the morning. I don't know how else you can describe it, right? I don't know. I have never asked a person who's blind, but.
That is one of the hardest questions I've ever heard out of the box in my life.
Yeah, well.
Harrison, jeez. All right, Tyshawn, you have an easier question for Harrison than that?
What's your daily routine?
There you go. Now we can talk. Okay, so in season, our weeks broke down like Sunday game, Monday half day. You work out, watch some film, get out the building. Tuesdays off. Wednesday, Thursdays are big work days. In at 6, 7, leave at 5, 6. Fridays are like a half day jog through practice and then recovery for like 3 hours, get out of the building around 3 or 4. Saturday, just a walk through meetings. Then we go to the hotel, stay the night in a hotel the night before a game, and then repeat. So on a Wednesday, Thursday, like our typical work days, I think my first meeting's 8. So then we have like a 7:30 pre-meeting for that. 8 to 8:30 is position. Then you go to defense from like 8:30 to 9. Then we have a team meeting at 9 o'clock, everybody meeting together. And then practice starts like around 12:45. So you have like an hour after the walkthrough to go back, get ready, get your pads on, get activated, taped, all that stuff. Practice ends like 2:30, 2:45. They have, lunch available, same thing. They kind of rotate it every day, but there's very healthy options up there for us to grab. I also jump in the cold tub. If you have to get a lift done, you can either do it before the day or after the practice. So you have kind of 2 times you can lift. And then after the lift and shower, cold tub, grab some lunch, hurry up to meetings. Meetings normally start around 4, 3:45, 4. So we have like an hour and some change. And then recovery, treatment, that type of stuff. So that's like our bulk days. We have like 2 of those or 2.5 of those a week. So that's kind of the routine.
Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, back to you, James. What do you got?
Man, if you had a time machine, would you go to the future or back to the past?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah, I think I'd be extremely curious to go to the future. I want to go to the future, maybe 100 years, see what my grandkids or great grandkids would go through, and then also what stocks I should invest in.
Tyshawn, what's your next question?
How was the transition from college to the NFL?
Yeah, for me, the transition from college to the NFL was easier than the transition from high school to college. I'm from Omaha, Nebraska, so like smaller town, kind of like Western New York a little bit. Y'all aren't just like pumping out crazy D1 athletes all the time. Now there's guys that make it, but it's not like that. But so I think from high school, then going to college, I played nose guard. So I went from being the biggest kid in my high school, almost biggest kid in the state, to at like 240, 245 pounds, to playing true nose guard, which the average weight in the Pac-12 was 325 pounds. So once I got through Stanford, by my senior year, I'm playing, top 10 Oregon, top 10 USC, top 5 Notre Dame every year, and playing against guys who are getting drafted in the first and second round. And guys on my team were Outland Trophy winners, first round draft picks, offensive linemen. So I had known what it was like to go against good people. By the time I got to the NFL, it was like, oh yeah, I played him 2 years ago. Oh yeah, that kid, I played him at whatever, Notre Dame. So the jump was harder for me from high school to college, but the stress from college to the NFL, it's like something I had never, ever imagined, the mental toll and stress it could take on you, where every single day, every single week, they're bringing in 20 people and trying them out to try to take your spot.
No doubt. Harrison Phillips, we appreciate the time, man. Thank you so much for joining us. And Gary, Tyshawn, and James, thank you guys so much for being a part of this as well. And congratulations on winning the Sam Lamantia Award and getting the grant here from the Block Courage Award Foundation. Thanks so much, guys.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you for your support.